62 is in place. Well, I need to move it back a little. I'll tinker with it a little bit, getting it where I want it, but for the most part, it's in place. The truck I brought in, just a little background on this truck. I bought this truck, well, I'll explain the background because that's why I park it in the wintertime instead of just driving it year round. I bought this truck from my dad about a year before he died. And he's always kept a garage cab. He didn't drive it hardly at all. I mean, it's a 2013, and when I got it, which was 5 years ago, I think it was, it only had like 23,000 miles on it. But or maybe six years ago. I don't know. I can't remember when I bought it. But anyway, I bought it from about a year before he died. That's why I want to keep this truck in as mint condition as I can. That's why I only drive it in the summer, and I don't even drive it the whole summer. But because it's a little, oh, what's the word? A little bougie, I guess, for me. It's got all the bells and whistles, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to something like old Scarecrow or my 96 extended cab, things like that. Those are what I'm more used to. Ooh. Anyways, got the truck in place. We're gonna get started on this thing and probably work on it through the winter. I would love to see this thing on the road in the spring, but I don't know if that'll happen or not. Because not only am I going to be working on this, but I'll be working on that International Lodestar of Andrews as well. All right, enough gabbing. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for now, and I'll bring you back when I start on my adventure of this. I guess the best place to start is just to get started on it. Let's get the interior all cleaned out of it, everything that's on the inside. It's got a lot of junk on the inside. You can see there's a wiring harness, steering column, some upholstery for the Valiant, and wiring harness, just things like that need to come out. Seats, I want to get the seats out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys in hyperdrive and get this stuff out of here, stack it up somewhere, and we'll go from there. See, some stuff's gonna have to get redone. I started this truck many years ago, like probably at least 20 years ago. And as you can see, maybe you can see, the dash, I did a radio delete on it. I just cut a piece of steel, welded it in there, and then my plans were to put body filler in there, but like I said, it was a long time ago, and I've came a long ways since then on my body work and my welding and things like that. So that is probably going to get redone so that it's all smooth and everything, because I'm not going to put I'm not going to put a stereo in this thing. And then I also got to take out these back where the gas tank, the holders for the gas tank, I got to get those out of there. The rocker panels, let me aim you down a little bit here. The rocker panels I never finished. You can see they're flux core welds. And so I got to grind all those down. And here, I want to put some seam sealer in it. Back then, I never even thought about putting seam sealer and stuff. So I want to put seam sealer in there. This cab corner still needs to get repaired down here in this corner. I guess I'm going to go ahead and get the vacuum and vacuum it out. And just get started on things. That's one of the hardest things about bringing in or starting a project over, or kind of fresh start on it again, is where do you start? So you just jump in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put you in hyperdrive. I'm gonna vacuum it all out and all that good stuff. Got things somewhat cleaned up in here. I don't know if the camera will show you, but this paint has metallic in it. I mean, it's a pretty cool color. I don't know, does it show? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if it showed or not, but it's a pretty cool color. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean the floor, or wipe the floor down and everything. Looks like I'm gonna have some holes over in this corner that I'm gonna have to fix. And then that over there, that kick panel, that's gonna have to be repaired as well. So usually when I get started on a project or whatever, I take it down to bare metal, I clean it, things like that. So I see what I'm getting into. I don't think I've ever seen a vehicle actually have body filler in the floor. This right here has body filler in it. So I'm gonna have to strip all that off of there. I may end up having to section, put this section of the floor in and that section of the floor in. I don't know. That's why I always clean it and see where we're at and see what I got to work with. I was working on removing the old, the tar sound deadening material that was in here. I removed all but that little bit right there. Oops, that bit right there. Got a little tired of it. So I decided I'm gonna jump around. I'm gonna cut these down. Not sure if I'm gonna take them all the way out, but I'm definitely gonna cut this part off where it's gone, so it's not in the way. This part here is not too bad in the way, get my arm out of the way. This part's in the way. This part, it's okay. It's not bothering too much. There's a couple thread nuts or whatever held on by this plate right here. So I'll probably go ahead and keep that little bit. If not, if I decide later on, there's spot welds on it that I can drill out and remove it. No big deal. So let's go ahead and get in hyperdrive and get rid of those. feeling more of this is going to end up coming out. Because I think maybe, I don't know, it kind of looks like maybe they're part of the cab mount or something, but I haven't got underneath it to look either. So went ahead and cut these out. Had some issues with my grinder. Button on it, the switch on it wants to act up every once in a while. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my time on the itchy nose. Put my time on the radio delete and see what we can do there. And I'll come back to these after I've crawled underneath it and seen what was going on. And then I don't know. It looks like I need to re-weld these rocker panels back on. I'm so glad I don't flux core weld anymore. It is a whole different ball game with gas. It's awesome. So I'll bring you back when I get into the radio delete adventure. My plans on this is, my plans are I'm just gonna go ahead and before I do it, I'll probably put some primer on here so that this doesn't rust anymore, because this is just going to be a voided spot. Well, actually, I don't even need to do that because I'm probably going to cut it out and butt weld a piece in here. But I want to, right here on the flat part before the radius, I'm going to end up, you know, I'll measure right there and cutting right there. And same with this one before the radius. And then the bottom here, I'm actually going to cut after the radius, but before it curls or curls underneath to go to the dash. I think that way, getting it after, well, obviously after this radius, but before it curls under, that way I don't have to put a curve in it or a radius in it. And when I grind it down and everything and do the body work on it, it's going to blend easy. It's going to blend nicer than, you know, anyways, I can't even speak right now. So anyways, I'll end up cutting it right here. And then when I blend it in, it'll put the radius in it. And it should look pretty nice. I just want this all smooth. I mean I'm gonna leave these, of course, but I'm not gonna have a stereo or a radio or whatever in this truck. If I do, I'll put it in the glove box where it's hid. Of course, I recycled metal. This is still metal from the Chevy hood that I cut up, I don't know, a while back, that I've just been cutting patches out of. I'll get this cleaned up and put it in on the dash, and we'll see where we're at from there. Because one side of the metal or the hood was really rusty, I went ahead and put that rust converter on it. Because this is going to be the side that's going to be hid in the dash anyways. It's going to be the shiny side that's going to be showing out, and I'll put primer on it and spray that when I get it in. I guess we'll move on to that here in just a second. guess what? I know you guys saw it too. That big old gaping hole down there. Look at that. Filled it with Bondo. What? Unbelievable. When I pulled it out, I went ahead and I ran my hand down here on this back side, and there it's all the way back in here. I don't, why I don't understand. It would have been better and easier for them if they would have just even taken a license plate, an old license plate, and self-tappered that baby on there. That right there, that is unbelievable. So I guess with that being said, I'm gonna have to order a floor. Wow, I'm speechless on this one. Unbelievable. All right, well, I think I'm done for the night. I'm gonna wallow in my disappointment, and this poor truck. I'll bring you back tomorrow. New day. I'm not gonna be a drama queen about the floors. It's time to do something a little different, because right now I'm gonna put the floors off because, man, are they expensive. I mean, the front part's not bad. It's only like $30. But that section, the section right next to the rocker, that needs to be replaced, which is a quarter of the size of the front floor. They want like $90 for that section. So needless to say, I'm probably gonna replace the front floor, and then I got a Chevy hood I can cut up, so I'll probably use that for fixing the floor. But today, I want to get in on, let me turn you around here. I want to get on that radio delete, get that welded in place, and go from there. I don't know how much you're going to be able to see, and I'm going to put it in hyperdrive, but I'll try to show you as much as I can. so I'm gonna let that cool down. So I'm pretty much done for tonight, but it's not totally done. Let me see if I can. Well, anyways, I'm not even gonna bother putting you guys in there right now. But as you can tell, it's welded in. I ground it down once. I saw some spots where light was shining through, so I went through and retacked, where those holes were. And I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool off for the night. And then tomorrow morning, I'll probably come out here and, well, maybe tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Anyway, so I'm just gonna let this cool off. I'll probably sit out here for a little bit, about a half hour, because I just got done, welding that up. I don't like to leave my shop for at least, 30 minutes after I'm done welding and grinding. And I always make sure my compressor's off, and I always, try to make sure compressor's off, and always unplug my batteries that are charging. Those are two things that can burn your building down. Four things that can burn your building down: welding, grinding, batteries, and air compressor. Well, it's Thanksgiving morning. I got a couple minutes, but last night I came out and I finished up the radio delete, or the welds on it and everything. Got that all ground down, nice and smooth. Looks good, at least in my eyes. I think it looks good. I'll put some filler or some fiberglass over it, and probably a little bit of filler, and then I'll probably strip the whole dash down and primer it and paint it. I don't know what color I'm going to paint the inside of the cab, but all right, well, just wanted to give you guys an update. Thanksgiving, so I don't have a whole lot of time. So happy Thanksgiving. Catch you in a little while. I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of some of this paint up in here. That way, when I put the body filler in here and go to smooth it out, I'm not gonna have any of this paint, which is pretty thick. I mean, the paint's pretty thick. It's got probably 4 or 5 coats of paint in here, including primer. So I want to just go ahead and get this out of the way as much as possible. That way, when I go to strip the rest of the dash down, I don't hit the body filler that I've already put in it and mess it all up. So I'll put you in hyperdrive and get this area here stripped down so I can do the body filler on it. What I was doing was I went ahead and I put a smooth layer over the main part that I welded in and everything. But on the edges here, I got in there with the paddle, a little bit, but I feel that it scoops it out when I put it on there. So that's why I took my finger and just put a little on there, and I went underneath the dash and did there. At the bottom down here, I made sure I wanted to get some filler down there just in case any grind marks or anything was down there for me grinding with that 36 grit. Here we go with this here. So now we'll let this dry and everything. We'll go ahead and sand it down. If it comes out well and it's smooth, and I feel that like high build primer or something like that will cover it up, I probably won't do anything. If I feel that the scratches and stuff are too deep, then I'll go ahead and I'll get the other body filler, the plastic body filler or whatever you want to call it, and I'll do a light coat with that over it, and I'll sand that out just to take care of any of the deeper scratches or anything. So at that, I guess I will bring you back after this is dried and we start sanding it. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys in hyperdrive as I sand this all down and everything. And then when I'm done sanding it down, I'll go ahead and bring you in the regular video and kind of show you, you know, the smoothness, if there's any imperfections, should I put any more body filler on it or just leave it with the fiberglass, those kind of things. Well, I got it somewhat sanded down, smoothed out. There we go. Kind of saw me do some boo-boo or some naughties by bringing out this, and but what I did with that is I took the edge of it and was just hitting right here on this edge here, which I don't have any weld or anything. So if it goes back to the original metal, I'm good with that. I mean, there's still a little bit of filler right here in the crease of it even. I don't have to have it there, but it's okay there. Same with this here. I don't have to have this here because the weld's actually over here, but it'll be all right. It's not hurting anything. Yeah, that was a lot of sanding there. Oh, it's still got a little bit more sanding to do right here yet. Yep. So, oh no, it's not too smooth or not too bad. It's not too rough or anything like that. It's actually pretty smooth, a lot smoother than what I thought it was going to be. And but I still might go ahead and put some filler over the top of it just because. Depends on when I'm done with this here, sanding, getting this here sanded down, what it looks like and everything. Because it doesn't feel bad at all. I think the high build primer will fill all that in and should be good to go. So, oh, you know, I got to get some of this corner to here down too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish sanding this up, and then I'll bring you back in a minute. Went ahead and smeared a little mud on her, and I'm just gonna go ahead. I was sanding with 80 on the fiberglass. Now I'm gonna bump down to 220 just to, you know, to sand this down and not leave any huge scratches or anything. Plus the high build primer will fill it better. Oh, the light just went out, so I'm gonna go ahead and sand this, and then I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Sorry about the lighting, but my light ran out of battery. But this is it. It's all smoothed out. Looks pretty good. Doesn't have a whole lot of this filler. Well, it doesn't have either fiberglass or this filler, a lot of it. It's just enough to fill in the scratches, or there was a spot right here that I accidentally pinched it too hard with the vice grips, or the clamp that I used. So it's a little bit thicker right there maybe, but it's nothing to worry about. I mean, it's not very thick at all. But that's it. So this is what it's done. It's, you know, I'm gonna take all the paint off of here, because it's pretty thick of paint, and I'll primer it. But when I primer it, this will all be nice and smooth. It'll look just like it's metal. But stock, it's got that little indentation right here where the radio goes. I didn't really care for that. I like it all smooth like this. But I guess there's that. I just want to say please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And thank you, and God bless, and I will catch you on the next one.